cannellini balls in a mushroom sauce. Okay guys, so today we're going to make cannellini balls. So we're going to do this just as if we were making a meatball. So we will pretend this is meat. Okay, so what I did here with my cannellini beans is I rinsed it out already. So what we need to do now is to mash this. Okay, so we can say this is a faux meatball, or we're going to be making rather a faux meatball. Okay, so instead of using meat, we're going to be using beans to make our balls. So we want to mash it as best as we can. Okay guys, so this is future Laura talking here. What I would suggest is that you don't mash your beans as much as I did. Leave some texture in it. All right, what y'all think? This looks good enough? All right, so this is our mashed beans here. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to season our beans, okay? We're going to treat this just as we would treat meat. So I am going to be adding some spring onions and about 4 cloves of garlic to it here. All right. I'm going to add, now if you want to keep this completely vegan, then you can omit the egg and you can use 3 tablespoons of veganese. So this is veganese here. But I will use 1 egg to this. So I'm going to be putting 1 egg in. All right. Let's add a little bit of salt to it. All right, I'll probably put about a ½ teaspoon of sea salt. I'm going to put some onion powder. Oh, this I don't need to just open it like this. Okay. I'm going to put some garlic powder. I'm going to put a little bit of allspice, about a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. Okay. All right, this is allspice here. I'm going to put a little bit of dried thyme in it. Okay. I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast in it as well. This will give it a umami flavor, the nutritional yeast. And of course it also adds vitamin B to it as well. I'm going to put some green seasoning. I'll leave a link in the description showing how you can make your own green seasoning. And I'm going to put a dash of Worcestershire sauce in it as well. Again, this will help add a umami flavor to it. So maybe about a teaspoon. Okay. All right, so let's combine everything together. Use a spoon to combine everything. And then we will roll it into our balls. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bake this in the oven. I have my oven preheating at about 375. And I will bake this maybe for about 20 minutes. And so that egg has added a lot of moisture to this. As a matter of fact, I feel it has added a little too much moisture. I think it has added a little too much moisture. Without the egg, it was more firm. That would, you know, allow me to form it into a ball. Now this has become really mushy. There's something I forgot to add. Oh my goodness, guys, I forgot to add my gluten-free seasoned crumbs. Of course, if you're not gluten-free, you can add panko breadcrumbs to it. So I'm going to add about 4 tablespoons of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I will leave a link in the description for these things that I'm using. There you go. So now this helps to absorb some of that moisture that I had in the egg, right? Very nice. Problem solved. All right, so let me get the pan, and I'm gonna get a bowl and put some water so that I can put water in my hand so it doesn't stick to my hand. Okay, so I have my pan here. I put some parchment paper, and this is some olive oil. Just gonna rub the olive oil on it here. That should be good. All right, so I'm just gonna put some water in my hand, right? Because you know what's gonna happen. The bean is going to want to stick to my hand. All right, so I just have the water in my hand here. And now we're just gonna form this into our meatballs, or we should say cannellini balls, okay? So we have one cannellini, guys, you know that word gives me a lot of trouble. Cannellini bean ball here. All right, so I'm just gonna get to forming the rest of these balls. All right, so here we have all our balls formed. So now I'm going to put this into the oven to bake for about 20 minutes. And what we're going to be doing is making a mushroom sauce to put our balls in. Okay, so we're going to make our mushroom sauce for our cannellini balls. So I'm going to put some ghee here. Let's saute some onion and garlic. About 3 to 4 cloves of garlic, or you can put how many you want. I'm gonna add my mushrooms in now as well. So these mushrooms I have to cook. I'm also gonna add some dried thyme to this as well. And I'm also going to add some salt to this as well. I'm adding sea salt. All right, so I'm just going to leave this to cook for a while so that the mushrooms get a chance to cook. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, guys, is add about 2 tablespoons of flour in order to make a roux. Of course, I'm using gluten-free flour. I'm just going to add a little more of the ghee in order to cook out my flour. That's what a roux is. A roux is flour cooked in fat. And you use a roux in order to thicken your sauces. Alright, so now I'm going to add some coconut milk to this. You can add regular milk, because we want to make a sauce for our cannellini balls to go in, okay? If you want to use heavy cream, you can do that as well. I'm using coconut milk. And I'm also going to be adding chicken broth as well. Of course, if you want to keep this vegan, then you can just use vegetable broth instead of chicken broth. So I'm just scraping the bottom of my pan here, because remember the flour sort of got stuck to the bottom of it. So we will scrape this, bring this up. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to add a little more chicken broth to this, because as you can see, because of the flour, it has thickened up. I'm going to add some Mrs. Dash garlic and herb seasoning blend to it as well. Of course, if you want this a little spicy, you can also add a hot pepper to this as well. I think I do have a whole hot pepper. You know what? Maybe I should drop it in here as well, because I have to bring over my cannellini balls now to add to this. So here I have a whole hot pepper. I'm going to drop that in. Let me just taste for salt. Just put it on my hand here. I think I can add a little more salt to this. You know what I'm also going to add, guys? I'm going to add a dash of tamari, enhance that umami flavor. Here we have our cannellini balls. So let's add that to our mushroom sauce. Just trying to mix the soy sauce that I added in, combine everything. Put these to soak up the sauce. I see, you know, at the bottom here it's browned a little. Look at that. Let me see if I can show you guys. You see that? You see that, guys? Can you see that? And got a nice brown color. So I'm going to mix everything. I'm going to add a little more chicken broth to it. Of course, you can determine whether you want to add the chicken broth or whether you want to add the coconut milk, in my case, or the heavy cream in your case, to make up for your gravy. I'm sure many of you will choose the heavy cream because that tends to be rich and creamy, right? I'll put a touch more of the coconut milk just so I can get more of that creamy look to it. Yes. Well, there you have it, folks, our cannellini balls in mushroom sauce.